The Indiana Fever have not one, but two new point guards. We all know about Odyssey Sims, but now the Indiana Fever have signed guard Kyra Lambert to the team. But who is Kyra Lambert?
Homestand, but before practice, they added to the roster yet again, and no surprise, it came at the point guard position, the place where they have a gaping hole at the moment due to injuries. Kyra Lambert, the latest member of the Indiana Fever, she will wear number 15 and presumably here soon make her WNBA debut.
Kyra Lambert just got to Indiana, but she's already making headlines. Not for her game, she just lit up about Caitlin Clark on live TV, and trust me, she didn't hold back. So when a brand new teammate is dropping that kind of praise, you know there's more to it. The question is, why now? The Indiana Fever decided not to just wait for Caitlin Clark's return. Nope. They went shopping, and shopping meant pulling Kyra Lambert straight from Europe. She's on a 7-day contract, thrown right into the mix. Now, if you've been watching the Fever season, and without Clark, it's been more a test of loyalty than a basketball binge. You know about their roster headaches. Sydney Colson, injured. Ari McDonald, injured. This team's guard rotation was looking thin, about as thin as WNBA officiating consistency. So Lambert enters stage right.
Debut. She spent the entirety of her basketball career professionally playing overseas, most recently over in Greece, played several years at Duke, finished up at the University of Texas, so there's some connections there.
And who exactly is Kyra Lambert? Honestly, the WNBA doesn't always make new player announcements exciting. This isn't a name casual fans know before this signing, unless you follow European women's basketball, or you're a Duke or Texas alum. Lambert probably wasn't even on your radar.
But today, the Indiana Fever have signed Kyra Lambert, which not many people, including myself, know who she is. When you look at her stats, it looks like, oh my god, the Indiana Fever have taken note from the Minnesota Lynx. They have taken note from the Golden State Valkyries. They've taken note from the Phoenix Mercury, all these teams that have brought over players from Europe. So many are thinking, finally, the Indiana Fever have taken note and brought in a EuroLeague player. Only Kyra Lambert actually isn't from Europe. I did look her up over on the ESPN app, and it looks like she went to school at Duke and at Texas. She was a Longhorn. And according to ESPN, she averaged 6.8 points, 3.2 rebounds.
But she should be now. It's not just about filling a roster spot. She made sure her first big WNBA media moment wasn't just happy to be here, filler. Nope, she talked about Caitlin Clark. Like Clark is the sun the whole Fever galaxy revolves around. And honestly, she's not wrong. Let's back up for a second. Her resume is no joke. This woman has been grinding overseas, and I mean really grinding. France, Greece. She's seen more European arenas than most Americans have seen tourist landmarks. She just finished a season in Greece, averaged 15 points, shot 42% from 3, won a league championship. Plus, she was named Europe's Guard of the Year. Not bad for someone most WNBA casuals couldn't pick out of a lineup. College? Yeah, she has that too. Started at Duke, finished at Texas. She even bounced back from ACL injuries that would send a lot of players packing. That's where you get the sense she's not easily rattled. When she talks about staying faithful and trusting the process, it's not just media day talk, she's lived it. But here's where it gets spicy. She's barely unpacked her bags in Indiana, hasn't even worn the number 15 jersey in a regular season game yet. And she's already talking about Clark, like she's the heartbeat of the whole operation. I can hear some people now, well of course she's gonna say nice things about Caitlin Clark. She's the star. But Lambert didn't just give a polite, yeah, she's great, she poured it on. We're talking live TV, cameras rolling. Lambert basically spelled out that Clark is the player to watch, the one whose absence you feel. Not just in the box score, but in the entire vibe of the league. That's not just teammate respect, it's a public statement. The WNBA without Clark on the floor. It's like Netflix without that skip intro button. You'll still watch, but you're not as happy about it. And let's be real here. Lambert might be new, but she's not naive. She's seen enough to know the Fever's draw right now is tied directly to Clark. She even said she's watched the WNBA for years, studying the game. said this is the best basketball in the world. Translation, she's been keeping an eye on the stars, and Clark has been at the top of that list. Now, before anyone gets sentimental and tries to paint this as purely new teammate excitement, remember the context. The Fever's missed Clark for weeks. Her groin injury hit hard, ratings dipped, like a bad stock market. And by dipped, I mean numbers that make league execs start twitching. The Fever-Sky matchup used to be a guaranteed ratings goldmine. Without Clark and Angel Reese, it tanked. Lowest viewership since Clark entered the league. That's a stat you can't PR your way around. So when Lambert talks up Clark like this, it's doing more than just a nod to a star teammate. It's feeding into what the league desperately needs, keeping Clark's name hot while she's sidelined. Think that's a coincidence? You probably also think WNBA refs call games evenly. And honestly, this is where Lambert's timing is smart. She's on a 7-day contract. That's basically a trial run in pro sports. Want to win over teammates? Play hard. Want to win over restless fans? Talk about the star. It's PR 10-1-1, and Lambert nailed it. But here's the thing, it didn't feel fake. That's the difference. Sometimes you can tell when a player is giving you the corporate answer, the same way you can tell when a coach is just killing time before we'll watch the tape. Lambert actually sounded like she meant every word.
And that this was coming your way and that you'd have a chance to play on a team that might need you to play right away.
Yeah, no, I was super excited. It's a blessing, having the journey that I've had and just, remaining faithful, trusting God and doing the work and just to see it all come back around. And
she went on about how it's a blessing to be here, how she's been welcomed by a first-class organization, and how she fits the Fever's run-and-gun, high-intensity style. And she's right, the Fever, without Clark, had to lean on that style just to keep games interesting. Lambert's skill set fits. She has quick pace, brings defensive pressure, and solid three-point shooting. And don't think for a second her praising Clark takes anything away from her own game. If anything, it's the opposite. Because what she's basically saying is, when Clark's back, we're even more dangerous, and I can help with that. That's the kind of message that makes a 7-day contract worth extending. Of course, the real subplot here is when Clark actually returns. Lambert didn't drop any insider info, but if you've been watching closely, you know Clark's been back in practice. People are whispering about mid-August, somewhere between the 17th and 20th. That's the target. That's 2 weeks from Lambert's signing. Which means, if she sticks, Lambert could be part of the lineup when Clark makes her comeback. And trust me, if you think Fever games get good ratings now, wait until that first game back.
here we are.
Kelsey talked about culture and character with this team as they welcome all these new players in this season. Your first impressions on day one here, what that means, what that feels like.
I mean, this is a first-class organization. Everybody has been so welcoming, so nice, so kind, and just everybody is here helping each other. Just, the goal is to win. The goal is, to get another championship. So I'm really excited to be here, and I've definitely felt the love getting here, just two nights ago. So.
How do you take in all the information of new plays, new teammates, tendencies, all that in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, I mean, it's a part of the job. You study just like people study in school. You study the playbook, you watch film, you do your due diligence as far as, who knowing your personnel. So, again, just doing the work.
Do you have any familiarity with players in the team now, your new teammates, or is this all everybody new?
It's pretty much new. I mean, I've played against a couple of the players on the team from
Lambert also hit on something else that matters: culture and character. Kelsey Mitchell has been saying this all season, especially with all the roster changes. And if you think that's just empty locker room talk, think again. The Fever have actually been building a team, one that doesn't crumble when one player is out, even if that one player is Caitlin Clark. Sure, they're not going undefeated without her, but they're not completely imploding either. And having a newcomer like Lambert buy into that from day one, you also have to appreciate the little jabs in her interview. She didn't call out anyone by name, but you can tell she's aware of the chatter around the WNBA. She's heard the talk about physical play, about targeting certain players, and about the inconsistent whistle, and without outright saying it, she positioned herself as someone ready to bring intensity and protect her teammates. That's the kind of thing Fever fans eat up, especially after watching Clark take some cheap shots this season, with barely a whistle blown.
Around and having these opportunities.
What's this opportunity in the W mean, given all that you've worked to get to this point?
Yeah. I mean, it means everything, to, again, just remain faithful and trust the process. It speaks to resiliency, it speaks to faith.
And let's be honest, if Lambert plays like she talks, she's gonna be a fan favorite fast. Fever fans have been craving someone else to rally behind while Clark's been out. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell's been carrying a huge load, and Alyssa Smith's been doing her thing, but having a fresh face with a confident attitude doesn't hurt, especially one who's already planting that just wait till Caitlyn's back seed.
Really excited to be here.
What's your familiarity, if anything, with this team, with Steph, with how they want to run things?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the W for years. I mean, it's the best basketball in the world. So, I've been watching and I've been studying and, to be able to watch it and see it from, a professional, point of view has, just helped the transition, and the girls and the organization have been great in welcoming me here, and just getting me up to speed quickly. So I'm really excited to join the team.
How does your game kind of fit in with their system and vice versa?
I mean, I think it fits in perfectly as far as just, running and gunning, getting the ball out quick, pressuring on defense, really bringing intensity and physicality.
So as you're recovering from the ACL injuries that you went through in college, is this the dream, the vision for you coming through that, or did that kind of seem far-fetched?
No, it never seemed far-fetched. I mean, I just, did the work. I trusted the process. Again, staying faithful.
But here's where it gets interesting. Lambert's signing might not just be about filling an injury gap. This could be the Fever testing out another piece for a potential playoff push. Yeah, I said playoffs. And before you roll your eyes, remember, in the WNBA's playoff format, you don't have to be elite to get in. You just have to be better than a few other teams. And with Clark's return looming, they might actually have the firepower to make some noise.
And head coach Stephanie White also credited Breon January, who knows people everywhere, including overseas, for recommendations and using their contacts to go find and hear about and look into players that could benefit them. Because right now, it's slim pickings, ultimately, right? You're dealing with players that are not under contract with any of the 13 teams. You're going out and signing free agents. It was Ari McDonald. Now she's out for the season. It was Odyssey Sims. Then they added more here with Kyra Lambert signed to a 7-day hardship contract going into Friday's game against the Washington Mystics. So now it's the same old thing like they've had to do several times already this season. Go find a player, get her here, then see what kind of quick study she can become and see how quickly she can integrate within the flow of things, not being disruptful, but instead maybe be an asset, give you 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you need.
The real question is, will Lambert still be around when that happens? That depends on two things: how she plays in these next few games and how the chemistry clicks. Because if she can show she's more than just a short-term filler, the Fever might not want to let her go, and given how quickly she's embraced the role of Clark Hype Woman, I'd say she's already got the PR part down. If there's one thing the WNBA has mastered, it's selective marketing. When a player like Caitlin Clark comes along, the league doesn't just promote her, they practically build half the season around her. So when someone like Kyra Lambert steps in and throws verbal confetti in Clark's direction, you better believe the league's social media team is salivating. This is the kind of clip they'll splice into hype video, drop on Instagram with a queen supporting queen caption, then pretend it just happened organically. But here's what's actually smart about Lambert's timing. She's not just talking up Clark for PR brownie points. She's tying herself to Clark's brand. It's marketing by association. You praise the most talked about player in the league, and suddenly you're part of that conversation. And considering Lambert's on a 7-day deal, getting into the conversation fast is not optional. It's survival. Let's compare this to other times Fever teammates have been asked about Clark. Kelsey Mitchell's had her moments. Sure, but she's been careful to balance the praise with her own role. Alyssa Smith, she's given Clark her flowers, but she's not out here gushing for the cameras. Lambert, she went all in, no hesitation. That's the difference between a player who knows she's locked in for the season and a player who knows she has to make the most of every mic in her face. And honestly, it works, because Lambert's delivery wasn't robotic. She didn't look like she was reciting talking points. She looked like someone who genuinely can't wait to share the floor with Clark. Whether that's because she's excited to run next to one of the best passers in the game, or because she knows Clark's gravity will get her open threes. Well, both can be true. The WNBA benefits from this too. Whether they'll admit it or not, Clark's injury hasn't just hurt the Fever, it's dragged down the league's overall buzz. Sure, Angel Reese has been pulling in her own crowd, and A'ja Wilson is still dominating, but Clark brings a crossover audience the league hasn't had in years. Every time someone like Lambert keeps Clark in the headlines, that audience has a reason to stay engaged until she's back. There's also the reality that this sets up a nice little storyline. Imagine Clark's first game back. Lambert's on the roster. She hits a couple of threes off Clark's assist, and the broadcast crews have all the material they need. Remember when Lambert called Clark a blessing to play with on her first day here? Well, here they are making it happen. Boom. Instant feel-good segment. Of course, let's not get too misty-eyed. This is still pro sport. Lambert can talk all day about how amazing Clark is, but if she can't deliver when the ball's in her hands, those quotes will get forgotten faster than a WNBA rulebook in the fourth quarter. The Fever need production. They need defense. They need someone who's gonna keep the pace up and hit shots when Clark draws double teams. If Lambert can do that, then the quotes become part of the lore. If not, well, she's just another name on the list of short-term contracts. And here's where I'll give Lambert credit. She seems to know the assignment. She's not walking in acting like this is a tryout for the All-Star game. She's talking about fitting into the system, running, gunning, pressing, defending. That's exactly what a team like the Fever needs from a plug-and-play guard. She's setting the expectation right away. I'm here to help, and when Clark's back, I'll help even more. It's also worth noting that Clark's second year hasn't exactly been the smooth ride some fans expected. Between the physical targeting, inconsistent officiating, and now the groin injury, she's had more learning moments than highlight reels this season, which makes Lambert's public praise land even harder. It's not like she's hyping up a player who's riding a wave of easy wins. She's hyping up someone who's had to grind through setbacks, and that resonates with a player who's had her own battles with injury. Now, if you're a Fever fan, the takeaway here is pretty simple. You've got a new player who's not just here for the paycheck. She's here to fit into the culture, help win games, and make it very clear she's excited to share the court with Clark. Whether she's still here when Clark returns remains to be seen, but for now, she's saying all the right things, and at least so far, backing it up with the right energy. And if you're the league, you quietly hope more players take notes, because when your top star is out, keeping her name alive in interviews, highlight packages, and fan conversations is how you bridge the gap. Kyra Lambert just did her part. Now it's on the Fever and the WNBA to make sure that excitement actually leads to something. When Clark is finally back in uniform,